Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask for your blessing and wisdom upon this Parliament. Direct and prosper our proceedings to the peace and welfare of the people of Solomon Islands. We ask this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Parliament resumes.
Motions. Motion number 22, motion of Sine-Die.
Thank you, honourable members. Debate on the motion that Parliament's adjourns Sine-Die concludes today. I will allow a few short debates for members who wish to contribute to the motion of Sine-Die before I ask the Prime Minister to wind up the debate. Again, members, are again reminded to adhere to the rules of debate set out under standing orders. The floor is now open for debate. I think the MP for Small Malaita wish to give the first chance to take the first stage before I revert to the Minister. Thank you, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for giving this opportunity for me. So, me want to thank you, Prime Minister, for introducing this motion to the House. Tok lomi by me kavam trivala parts no mas me first time by comment lo samvala policy blow government. Then by me a little bit to talk about national parliament matters and then finish with them several constituency issues. Firstly, sir, law GNAT policies and economic transformation. Using the Minister of Finance's listed 8 policy intentions, by me comment a little bit more about 6 fala. And firstly, on the matter of anchor fiscal stability, sir, this is critical for the smooth and timely implementation of the budget. However, this for a new target where me looking inside here, no, me a little bit worried we have the reserve, cash reserves up where me $170 million. Sir, me looking this one also by me still problem where me low cash flow, yeah? And it might have undecided outcomes for the implementation of the budget. Secondly, sir, the rationalization of the tax system. This is an important concern, sir, because I think when the government introduced the Tax Administration Act, this is one fella objective lohemia. It promised easy payment and more efficiency and for reducing revenue leakages. But I keep asking for the VAT. Minister, you must take him come quick time VAT. It promised better efficiency there, sir. The Minister also mentioned reform of the mining sector. Sir, my call no more is that we should immediately suspend all licenses and operations now. We can't continue with thinking about the policy and policy design while mining activities are continuing. So establish the policy and the mining legislation and then recommit to EITI requirements. The current position poster that is being taken at this moment is fertile ground for fly-by-night operators and not in the Solomon Islands' interest. Sir, on the proposal to establish the Solomon Islands Sovereign Wealth Fund, sir, I think this is a forward-looking policy intention, but it must be anchored in sound legislation, strong ring fencing, clear investment and withdrawal rules, and public transparency standards before any funds are seeded. Otherwise, sir, a sovereign wealth fund risks being underfunded or captured by short-term political cycles. And lastly, international ports and Safran's Wharf. I think the Minister also put his finger on a very important issue for us. At the moment, the regulator SEMA policy stance to me is like lukewarm. It's neither here nor there. And I don't think we can depend on the assessments, because the continued operations of unregulated Safran's wharves around Honiara Port present clear risks in terms of revenue leakages and illicit activities if customs controlled are not strengthened. So Solomon Islands Ports Authority and Customs Department must coordinate to enforce the Customs Act in spirit and in practice. They must eliminate gray area of operations and strengthen official ports as the legal gateways for all inbound and outbound cargo. So economic transformation sits at the core of GNAT policy framework, which the Minister has announced the government has designated 3 SOEs to be the drivers. Firstly, SEMA. I welcome the increased mandate, the increased funding, and the new management. This is all good. However, sir, management at SEMA with increased funding must be properly considered. It is said the new man at the helm was a former CEO at the Solomon Islands Ports Authority. So if it's anything to go by, care must be taken when the Solomon were heavily leaving Ports Authority under controversial circumstances. So be concerned no more, because this is the first time we will be making huge subventions to SEMA. Next year it will be $27 million. And we must be careful that all that money is not eaten up by somebody's exorbitant salary package. The other SOE or proposed SOE that the government is proposing is a new shipping company, which I see as it will compete with existing private sector operators. So this proposal needs to be properly assessed. Private sector intervention in this sector is no guarantee it will be efficient and cost-effective. Otherwise, it may become another hole in excess revenues. Mr. Speaker, I applaud the government's zeroing in on the productive sector as the driver for economic transformation. So the policy focus, and especially new funding resources in the following sectors: agriculture, fisheries, tourism, is a new breathe longo funding logata sectors here. So in agriculture, I think the minister, I totally agree with him using this fella low-hanging fruit analogy. It is very true. Me agree with him. I've said that many times before. Cocoa, copra, kava, already. What sit down what they are bearing fruit now, yeah? Minister. So if you need for doing anything quick time, this is where we should go. Fisheries too, sir. Seaweed farming is gaining a lot of momentum throughout the country. So is tourism. We have many small family-based operators throughout the country. So why I'm emphasizing this is, in my view, this is win-win for the economy, for households, and the country. These are all rural-based, and all the trials they are already on the ground, bearing fruit. These are low-cost investment sort of sectors. So this is where we should be investing, and this is why I applaud the government's approach in taking this action. So As I've said before, this is the most efficient income distribution methodology we or any government can use. It affirms and enhances wider economic participation and hence wider economic base. So, with supporting infrastructure development by the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development and Commerce, who deals with roads and wharves and other physical infrastructure, these policy interventions will enhance connectivity, markets, and transportation. And even by these three ministries, if these three ministries fully function as intended and supported by decent transportation and marketing infrastructures, I can bet on this policy intention that Solomon Islands economy can treble our current GDP growth rates. So I consider that that's real economic transformation. I applaud the policy goals and actions. So me habitulo GNAT's renewed energy into the project at the Bina Harbour Tuna Processing Project in terms of funding and technical support. Work on supporting local infrastructure and community engagement is also to be acknowledged. However, sir, we must avoid Bina becoming another Tina, where there is enormous costs involved. We spend over a long time span only to end up with an average-sized factory. The total budget allocation for this project of $103 million in the 2026 budget, sir, must be spent on Bina. This kind of normal reservations and cash flow interventions at Treasury must be avoided. Otherwise, the minister's glorification in his speech on the floor will easily be just hot air. Sir, by me comment a little bit, long labor mobility scheme. I am thrilled with the significant pickup in the labor mobility scheme as reported by the then Minister of Finance last year. From just 1,500 people, both in Australia and New Zealand in 2018, it is reported that we reach nearly 10,000 people we will be reaching nearly 10,000 people by the end of this year. So the scheme is addressing two basic fundamental issues for Solomon Islands: unemployment and household incomes. The financial returns are very impressive, sir. Nearly $300 million to date, or Q3 or the third quarter of this year, in remittances. This is more than foreign exchange earnings through other industries, even tourism. Many families are now converting this foreign income source to meet their needs: school fees, food, build and improve family homes, and also business ventures. Indeed, this source of income is empowering many hundreds of families throughout our country. However, sir, the scheme's success has brought challenges in family cohesion, reintegration, and community support. I therefore urge the government to facilitate pastoral support, counseling, and social reintegration services. Long term, the scheme should be made sustainable with reduced costs for first-time participants and a robust recruitment agency that can oversee ethical, fair, and effective placement. Me now come along National Parliament matters. Sir, a priority that needs to be re-emphasized is the parliamentary calendar. Establishing this calendar will make it easier to plan parliamentary activities with members' constituency business. Once in place, it will greatly improve parliamentary efficiency, but it requires political will to make it happen. and I'm hoping that in due time we will all agree to make this happen. Sir, on another matter, we must also address the physical requirements of Parliament functions. Parliament staff and members' work need more office spaces and meeting rooms. Sir, an assessment of this round house building strongly suggests it requiring renovation. So a temporary chamber must be secured to allow proceedings to continue while essential work is carried out. As well, sir, landscaping of the parliamentary precinct is on our agenda. In this connection, my committee will be making submissions for the long-term physical plan, which at the core of it is the Twin Tower project. For the medium term, my committee is making submissions soon for the rehabilitation of the Paul Tovua complex. When completed, we will share it with our development partners for their consideration on funding this project. Sir, restructuring of the National Parliament Office must also be recognized. I urge the House to reconsider the budget allocation so that restructuring and committee work can be properly supported. These work plans are foundational to modernizing and strengthening parliamentary role. I look forward to the support of all members in achieving them. As we conclude this session, it is timely to reflect on the principle of parliamentary autonomy. This principle is the cornerstone of our democracy. It ensures that Parliament, as the People's House, functions independently, free from undue influence, and with the authority to hold the executive accountable. Adequate funding, consistent attendance, and active engagement are essential to preserving this principle. Looking ahead, we must reaffirm our commitment to protecting parliamentary independence by ensuring resources and authority for oversight, strengthening committee work by supporting chairs and members to fulfill their mandates, and upholding accountability through question time, inquiries, and reports to keep the executive answerable to the people. All these need support of my colleagues. Sir, as we adjourn Sine-Die, let us recommit ourselves to defending this autonomy, for it is the foundation of trust in Parliament. Sir, in my capacity as chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee, I wish to remind the House of a number of important work plans that remain before us. One of our key priorities is standing order review. This review is ongoing and aims to update House rules to reflect current needs and circumstances. This review includes new and comprehensive terms of reference for all committees. Standing orders should guide not only how Parliament conducts debate, but when Parliament does its work. So standing orders reform should include a requirement for an annual parliamentary calendar. Without a calendar, it creates uncertainty for members, committees, ministries, and the public. Previous attempts to bring the completed review to the House, including this year, has not materialized. And sir, we will continue to carry out the review with the goal of finalizing it by 2026, and that will need the support of the House. Finally, we want to talk about constituency matters, and firstly, constituency boundaries, sir. I have raised this matter over the years, but I will say it again, that the government must take action to review current constituency boundaries. With the appointment of the Commission now completed, government must ensure resources for them to do their work. This is a long overdue matter for many of us. In the case of Small Malaiti, it has been recommended in the report of 2008 to split Small Malaita constituency into two. However, this is yet to be done. Sir, my constituency is a very large one, both geographically and demographically. That makes service delivery very challenging. Sir, mina kam longo other constituency programs blong mifala. Road infrastructure program remains priority in our development plans. Sir, as you know, road construction is expensive, but with land disputes and interruptions, it makes it even more difficult and more costly. Me giving you to contrast, Mr. Speaker. One road, me vala mekemblo from one place, Matangasi to Rorongo. This is a segment of 16 kilometers. That one we will do between 2017 to 2021, 4 years. Contrast to that, we will make a road from Oumatawa to Rone on the east. This is a segment of 20 kilometers. We will make him 3 months no more. What man by make him finish this month, this week or so. Sir, apart from everything else, case one, the work was riddled with land disputes. Most of it, or the landowner celebrated the dispute. In case two, it was absolutely dispute-free. So we will make a longer road, 3 months, but the one where 16 months, no more, 16 kilometers, we will make it for 4 months. 4 years, and the reason is only because disputes. Me tell him this one, sir, because it goes to show the impact that land disputes have on development in our country. The concern, sir, is also that these disputes are always induced by wannabe MPs. What man were the dispute, yeah? Or the causing what dispute, what man like win election, yeah? So Salvala or the Kohet this time. Is Koya him now got to do him, yeah? Hey. I call on our landowners, resource owners, and community leaders throughout our country, and especially Los Small Malaita constituency. You will stay clear of what the man said. They have nothing to offer you. Yeah. So, Mival constituency, sir, office, Mival, we are very eager to deliver services. Government give him selling for Mival deliver services, yeah? But if you combine with them what man were, what a current normal personal interest, and especially one MPs here, wanna be MPs here, stay clear of them. Sir, apart from land disputes, many other challenges remain. Road construction, bad weather, machine breakdown, and what something else, or the stuff as challenges. But sir, in my case, despite the challenges since 2017, we have delivered 45 kilometers of gravel road. 50% of that was done in the last quarter of this year. Sir, policy goal of this one, let me clear no more. This is a road connecting west to east, which is most critical for the constituency. Apart from the goal of connectivity, which eastern side of island Blomivala, it's a third of the population, but it also has important economic reasons to connect the west side, which all the services are located, to the eastern side, which is highly productive region in agriculture and aquaculture production. However, we need landowners and community leaders' full cooperation in order to achieve this. I am very grateful for the chiefs, the landowners, and community leaders who own and are responsible for the segment between Piney and Rone for their excellent cooperation. I hope that our landowners and community leaders in other parts of Small Malaita will learn from these community leaders. Sir, allow me now to acknowledge the support by our partners in our development aspirations. And we like start with them. Several development partners were or partner with them in these endeavors. Firstly, the Australian government, where we're going to deliver several community projects to our communities in my constituency in the last 18 months. Also, sir, I'd like to acknowledge the People's Republic of China for funding of new machineries. I think several of you are looking at picture. Me no stop look picture because missing. But if you look in him now, People's Republic of China now, or to give him selling it through RSDP for me for funding paying over the machines here. Also, the People's Republic of China, or to give him selling two for one for the community Blomifala for transport. Also, in acknowledging people who partner with us, government now, GNET, where in their policy implementation, they continue to support us in our development endeavors. Me want to start with the Minister of Police. Minister, thank you too much by Tuval House where you put on a budget below you may help each other, you may go deliver Tuval House here. Me like for acknowledging to Ministry Law Infrastructure, or to fund them of your wharf rehabilitation and of your road repairs and construction. Me like make one clarification normal Lord Sani Law of your and Maka Police Station, Mr. Speaker. Tuval place here, in a small Malaita, you southern region. West Arare, East Arare, small Malaita. Savalo, West Koyan, Usim too. So time me to talk about Afio, in a small Malaita no more. Southern region of Malaita. Make everyone sabe. You must support the major. Also, sir, Law Ministry of Education, Minister, thank you too much, where you are supporting completion of one vala primary school classroom law, Anopala, one vala community Blomivala. And of course, the Ministry for Rural Development. Minister, thank you too much for the ongoing support through law funding for every development programs from Mifala. Road network, Mifal Finsim, law selling you now, give him come here. Me no got to take him law MID and I got another place also Mifal to do him. Then we make him housing too, solar too. We make them community-based projects or some church buildings, community halls, water supply, what something else. We will make them law selling what you give me law. So thank you to us now, Mr. Minister. And apart from that, we continue funding income-generating projects. So in conclusion, and as we enter in this festive season, let me extend my best wishes for a blessed Christmas to you, the Honorable Prime Minister and family of Blohem, and all staff along you, Mr. Prime Minister, to you too, Mr. Speaker, and family of you, where them walk away, clerk and staff Blohem, what look after you meal, logistical support, and all something also. To His Lordship, the Chief Justice, all of you colleague members belong to 12 Parliament, our development partners, all public servants throughout all the ministries and government agencies, and finally, greetings and happy Christmas to all the people of Blomil or Small Malaita constituency. Sir, we look forward to another term of better engagement next year in the pursuit of the well-being and the good of all our people and our country. Sir, with these remarks, I support the motion and I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable Member for Small Malaita. Let me give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Police and Correctional Services. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Me too. Me raised this morning, representing West Blogut, People Blomilo, Gizo Island, and Colombomara Island for contribute lo this very important motion moved by the Prime Minister that at the adjournment of Parliament on Wednesday, 17 December 2025, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned Sine-Die. At the outset, sir, I wish to acknowledge and sincerely thank the Honourable Prime Minister for moving this motion. This motion, sir, is not merely a procedural formality, one for a profound affirmation of our democratic values, where providing members of Parliament, whether you mean executive government, opposition, or independent benches, a dedicated space to debate, reflect, and speak openly now, same how what other colleague members been talk truthfully on matters of national interest. Sir, this opportunity affording me that unique space. It allows us, this House, to pause from daily pressures of legislative business and engage in a broader, more inclusive dialogue. The issue raised in this debate have not only confined to the corridors of government, but what stem from the lived realities of people Yumina, villages, tribes, constituencies, islands, and provinces. They also extend further to national, regional, and even international challenges that shape na beloved country Yumi, Solomon Islands. So, me deeply appreciative that through this motion, esteemed colleagues Blomilo, this Honorable House, reaffirm that this Chamba is not only preserved for government business alone, but collectively voice blow every Solomon Island. Okat debates Yumi Harem have had few days ago reminding me that concerns of rural villages, outer island communities, fishing hamlets, urban settlements, women, youth, persons with disability, churches, civil society are not peripheral, but they are central, lo waka blodisala Honorable House. So, this motion, therefore, have served as a democratic bridge. Hemi connect him now voices blo people blo Yumi to the highest decision-making body of the land. Hemi ensure that grievances, aspirations, and visions from every corner blo country blo Yumi find him now meaningful expression inside lo this honorable chamber. Hemi reminder that Parliament not only a place of law and budget, but also a forum of accountability, reflection, and unity. So in supporting this motion, me affirming that the strong democracy Yumi lies in its inclusivity. When members across political divides come together for deliberate on issues of national interest, Yumi demonstrating lo people Yumi that this House truly belong Bloketa, that their voices, no matter how far away or humble, resonate lo four or eight corner lo disala wall. Honorable Speaker, today me rise for addressing four interlinked areas here. Number one, achievement and challenges blow 2025. Number two, me like for also talk in response law 1 to 3 policy concerns raised by our colleagues, which me think are important, and by me touch base law 1 or 2 of those policy concerns. Number three, personal outlook and expectation lo thinking blow me for 2026. And number four, imperative of fiscal discipline and effective implementation of 2026 national budget, going forward lo how yumi bewaka as a country and importantly as GNAT government. The year 2025 has been one of both recovery and turbulence. Despite global headwinds, economy Yumi held steady. Public service have continued for function. And government have remained committed law development, especially infrastructure and social development, focusing on the essential services like health, education, policing, etc., to ensure that Yumi providing all necessary services that directly impact in citizens Yumi. According to IMF Article 4, law consultation law February 2025, Solomon Island have weathered on major shocks, including civil unrest, pandemic, external supply chains disruptions, while also successfully hosting Pacific Game, conducting peaceful general election, and welcoming and hosting two regional forums. That is what government Yumi been doing, and important for people Yumi lo country, realizing that this government can continue for providing necessary service to ensure that country Yumi continue for governing people Yumi. Yes, prices have remained. The IFM notes that public debt has nearly tripled since before pandemic, and cash reserve significantly depleted too, as alluded by one or two, three odd speakers lately. Yet growth is modest. GDP has been projected at 2.7 to 2.8 in 2025, slightly higher than 2024, but of course insufficient to meet national needs. Inflation has persisted, with the consumer price index rising 5% year-on-year in October 2025, driven by food, energy, and transport costs. Structural challenges have also weighed heavily, Mr. Speaker, and it's important that you be fully aware of all this. Our economy remains over-reliant on logging, a sector now in steep decline. Output fell to average of 1.5 million cubic meter in 2022 and then continue for deplete, far above sustainable level, which you may everyone survey at least 250,000 cubic meter per annum. And expect what a warning that this industry may collapse by default as forest sector have exhausted. And therefore, it's important that as policymakers, not only low government level, but importantly, low ministries, you may creatively work on developing policies for ensure that forest sector can continue for providing necessary support in terms of economy. And me sabe, our powerful minister and what officials take note of every comment that any deliberated law flow this parliament. Meanwhile, sir, rural communities, home to over 73% of our population, and continue to face barriers in infrastructure, electricity, transport, and markets. This government and any government by him come and go, and by heart for denying this effect. The World Bank emphasizes that without reform in connectivity, digitalization, and private sector investment, rural households by him remain excluded from growth. And as Minister of Government and this government, me believe that policies are living document, and GNAT is conscious of this report for necessary reform and take actions to ensure that the programs have addressing issues affecting what people Yumi. And me happy that good friend blow me, member blow MP for South Small Malaita, and me testify how Ministry of Rural Development empower him na constituency law address him a lot of these challenges. I believe every constituency based on our geography and development challenges Yumi can do likewise. So, this dual reality, progress amid structural headwind, have not defined in 2025. It is against this backdrop that GNAT has reviewed policies to ensure that the 2026 budget redirects resources towards productive and resource sectors, generating returns that bahami sustaining na okat important services Yumi, lo social sector like education, policing, health services, and new name every essential services lo social sector sa. So, the 2026 budget must be guided by realism, responsibility, and impact. We must consider development as both material and spiritual now. That it is our mandate, to ensure that Yumi implementing na budget so that him truthfully achieve him now what anticipated outcome that Yumi have him. To ensure that it must uplift communities, strengthen justice and build capacity, not only for this generation but future generation. The Ministry of Finance, of course, and Treasury and Planning will secure resources, responsibility of Minister, ensure debt sustainability and align financing with national priorities. But responsibility cannot stop at mobilization. I therefore, sir, call on permanent secretaries, accounting officers, and heads of government agencies to take full ownership of implementation. Without disciplined execution, a budget will remain a plan, not progress. The 2026 budget must translate policy into tangible services. You must look in classrooms in rural villages, functioning health clinics with medicines, feeder roads and jetties, market access for fishers and farmers electricity and water for the household police presence in high crime areas, and extension of police stations and outposts, efficient justice delivery, jobs for our youths. These are what budget block 2026 you may anticipate him for him must achieve him. And this one, the responsibility heavily on the shoulders blow okata important people where me been mentioned public servants law, state law permanent secretaries, heads of department, and heads of what government agencies. This is not optional, sir. It is the critical mission of this government, and everyone that is responsible to ensure that what they implementing now task rests on their shoulder. The Asian Development Bank has been projecting growth to accelerate in 2026, supported by mining, fisheries, and construction. The World Bank focused stronger activity in agriculture, tourism, and infrastructure, which could reduce poverty and improve living standards, and then reflected low budget Blue UMI 2026, including supports by our development partners, which we will always be appreciative of. But success will depend on fiscal discipline and inclusive implementation, which Minister of Finance Hemi been alluded to law remarks Blohem and me believe by him. He also reminded me law speech Blohem too at the conclusion of these motions. If we measure progress only in urban centers, we failed the majority in villages and outer islands. Therefore, the true test of the 2026 budget will be the changes delivered to the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized. And every ministry responsible are accountable to that, sir. So, let me thank the honorable members who have been stood up before me, constructive contribution lo di sa motion. Our issues raised reflect the genuine concerns of our people. And as a minister lo di sa government, I welcome such debate as part of democratic accountability and policy refinement, which I also believe my colleague ministers would take note to see that our policies Yumi have redirected for addressing now policy gaps and areas that by Yumi need for look probably accommodating the supplementary budget next year, but importantly preparing budget Yumi 2027. Let me say one fundamental reality, sir. Solomon Islands, a least developed country. Our development pathway is articulated in the National Development Strategy 2016 to 2035 and aligned with the Sustainable Development Goal is necessarily progressive, sequenced, and sustainable. Of course, not only this government, but government past, present, and future cannot solve every challenge at once. But we are addressing them systematically, guided by national priorities and long-term vision. GNAT have focused to ensure that you be graduate from LDC, and we will continue to develop our country there going forward. And after these generations of leaders, 12 parliament, maybe 13 and 14, our young generations of leaders, we also aspire for contest or some small malaita say, if we got a chance for come, but continue for contributing, addressing what development challenges that you may have. Me like for talk little bit law, political stability. As a minister, perhaps as president of one political party, our party, lo di sa current ruling government, coalition government. Political stability, hemi foundation blow development. As our party president, me just like called on myself on all political parties to collectively pursue reform that strengthen anti-defection measures, party discipline, and leadership accountability. This reform aligned with the National Development Strategy Objective 5, effective governance and public order, and sustainable development goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. You may often come for realizing the importance of addressing political stability through political party system and relevant institution tightly facing political instability situation. But perhaps that's where you may need for Waka Lohem, and as president of our party, sir, me call on all political party leaders for look good this one. Stability requires consensus and constitutional process, not quick fixes, and therefore me call on every political party leaders come forward and you may address him now the gaps for addressing political instability. In terms of one area that Hemi raised, which I totally agree on, electricity tariff and the cost of energy, energy sector reform, Hemi priority and me believe by relevant minister, Hemi by talk this one. But it's important for recognizing investment such as Tina Hydro, we actually aim for reducing reliance on imported fuel and lower tariff over a period of time. That's exactly how HEMI been anticipated and supported. Unfortunately, hem continue for accumulative cost. But whilst current cost hem remain high due to global fuel prices and the agreement that we continue for meeting as our obligation, GNAT's medium to long-term objective, me believe hem continue progress to ensure reduction through renewable energy, which is consistent to Sustainable Development Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. Fuel prices hem the same too. GNAT, while not and cannot directly mitigating fuel prices, which is externally driven, but we believe we are mitigating impacts through road expansion, which Minister Blow MID continue for any progress with him, so that time we take a long route, now shortcut. Maybe also now MP for South Godol Canal, hem say South Godol Canal, near yet so far, look at connectivity by way of road. And me like for raising Mr. Speaker said, me been to travel inland of Central South Godol Canal, road go lo Cocoablo, Ministablo mines. 2 hours, I'm already cut them midway now. Fisheries, Minister of Fisheries, correction. I think it is good for you to look at the existing infrastructure, and they might only require you for supporting with some very reasonable amount of development budget to ensure you may connect him with the existing roads. In comparison, lo road Blomivala lo Kolobangara where KFPL have supported that road, hemi very good, strong, and got an existing material like gravel where service sustain him and no need him to sell for ensure him sustainable. And me like for recommend him that you may support him the 2027 budget. This intervention sa him support him na National Development Objective Bloyumi number 1 for economic growth and sustainable development goal infrastructure, ensuring rural and urban communities would benefit from improved transport, and that is how you must mitigate high cost of fuel prices. Telecommunication reform have happened, and me happy like other members of parliament. You got to improve connectivity in terms of telecommunication. Law constituency blow me, Giza Kolobangara because I'm blow hot blow Western province. Me fala by garim 5 towers constructed. And me like for thank him na Minister blow communication for establishing, because by him not only connect him na Giza Kolobangara constituency, by connect through feeder system law of telecommunication, South Choiseol, Wela, North New Georgia. That is why I'm going na 5 tower, and maybe connecting to Kia Hograno, Mr. Speaker, sir. And so connectivity, hemi improve, and okataya. Me reminding people Blomilo constituency, and also would like to remind good people Blomilo Solomon Island, him not only for Facebook, him should support him to okata economic activities Blomilo and SME activities. Post him up what na okata agricultural product Blomilo, garden Blomilo, okata fishing projects Blomilo. So that your products or your cats can be sold on a timely manner and efficiency. So instead of you sit down lo market lo giza for full day go kasem night, you stay come lo raft, you post up, you arrive lo giza market, people can pay finish now. So that you go and engage in other economic activities or productive activities lo home and villages below you. These are what these important economic infrastructure are established for. Not only for Yumi Video Go Kasem Night, because they will only exhaust him and by pull him out every single coin lo pocket blo you if you only use him for entertainment. Me like for reminding good citizens blo you me. Also lo that all very important matters. Education, he continue to be cornerstone blo GNAT policy as Minister blo Education been to talk about him, and this government can continue to subsidize. Whilst you may like for looking total free education, you may by also look against him that policy in terms of affordability blo you me, revenue blo you me. And me like for make very important emphasis this one, that this government me like for go in that path for free education. But as minister, I'm already talk in terms of if you may go the path of free education, full development budget and maybe some other recurrent budget, you may give him go for education now. And him budget cuts, other relevant ministry. And so this government continue to pursue subsidy. Which mean continue for invest in teacher training and infrastructure, local constituency and provinces below Yumi in terms of supporting subsidized education. So whilst parents' education and continue for expensive, you must have it that this government hem subsidizing cost where parents bearing low school fee and parent support low infrastructure. Free education for all remains aspirational, and this government may support him on a phased support, prioritizing the most vulnerable, consistent with the sustainable development goal for quality education. Me like to also comment on economic growth and game changer project where other colleagues make mention me support him. And this government me identify and finish now agriculture, fishery, tourism and infrastructure as growth driver. Next year's budget him already aligning in terms of increase the development budget, although you may require for continue law improvement, but we have already redirect the way you may increase in budget, you may. Game changer investment a sequence to manage debt sustainability, which by heavy big something for government look which heavy reflecting national development strategy objective 1 and sustainable development goal 8 for inclusive economic growth. So we are conscious of that as a government, looking at how you may deal with Imtina. And of course, take note that you may avoid into some of the challenges that you may face within Tina Hydro in terms of borrowing, whilst you may also focus and me believe, and this government am committed, law Binahaba project to ensure that challenges you may facing within Tina have not repeated. Law Binahaba, which a couple of members of parliament rightly expressed. So agriculture, me agree, as alluded to by, I think the opposition leader, Hemi alluded to, and other members of parliament, that agriculture is a double GDP blow Yumi if Yumi fully supported. And Minister of Agriculture be like for actually acknowledging and supporting him that he redirect him now agriculture for continue for supporting. Misa hem garems big development budget and low constituency level. Sir, me already encouraging what coconut and cocoa farmers. Imi doing part blow Yumi low plant. Go na lo kata provincial agriculture officers blow Yumi. Make him away, report, align with him, requirement of Ministry of Agriculture, so that him give him come now $25 per bottom block coconut or cocoa ya, lo support him you fala. Subsidy na that one. And I want to see that every coconut and cocoa farmers lo country blow yumi doing that one, make a good truthful report. Come na lo Ministry of Agriculture for him support him yumi if necessary. Yumi support him to supplementary budget for subsidy. That one na me like for make mention, Mr. Speaker. So me agree that borrowing should be targeted towards productive and resource sector infrastructure. Here we got tin hydro. And hope that you may know repeating that one. If you may go that path with him being a hamba, but me believe that you may must strongly support him. Bina, me believe that people blow me lo malaita once you may put him na industry support him for ensure. Me fala hard-working people throughout the country. Once you ask them what coconut plantations here, who na plant him, people blow me lo malaita during colonial time. And I make no mistake, sir, that if you may put him one fala industry, it will be one of the most successful one. Na if him stop lo malaita. And so me also appeal lo good landowners, lo me lo Malaita province for supporting that initiative to ensure that project may successful. Me like me for look lo experience lo people blow me lowest or people blow me lo Malaita. People are people for dispute too, yeah. But time development lo there, what let them development go, what go lo court na for looking who na really leno na, and then ensure or to come in to see how what become partners na lo development lo kata. So that development may progress and then benefiting everyone, at the same time benefiting to resource owners. This investment by creating employment, reducing na long-term cost and enable private sector growth. That heavy concept of the debt sustainability, which by remain guiding principle, other national development strategy, fiscal discipline, Blayumi. Me like for supporting good friend Blomi, the opposition leader, and me emotional about it, and I believe him straight no maya for him doing that one like any other parents as minister of police be like for categorically rejecting na gender-based violence. Government must ensure and we well strengthen legal framework for supporting survivors where providing services for keeping Mukadayan and work with him, police and communities for eliminating na gender-based violence, which is central na law sustainable development goal number 5 years old for gender equality and sustainable development goal 16 for strong institutions and the matters of importance look at women and girls Bloyumi. So, like others, let me take this time to for acknowledge him and thank him government blow Australia for that Lemba mobilities scheme that he continue for supporting na unemployed young people blow me for fighting employment law supporting na livelihood blow people blow me. We cannot ignore the fact that he actually got a positive impact low livelihood blow people blow me. But on that same note, me like for also supporting too, call blow, good friend blow me MP for small Malaita, lo also look, lo negative impact blow that program in terms of the social impact blow him, looking at providing services like also pastoral services like people blow you me where go. Most and a good number of people may go join him this very fruitful scheme. What a look and learn, what looking learn him, and do him too. Sometimes a little bit ignorance of some very important things that we need for serve in terms of culture and changes that potentially have influence mo kata, and importantly, reintegration back the community. That is a matter by Ministry of Foreign Affairs and continue for pursue. However, sir, for country below me like for affirm him that I think for you, me in long term, for you, me look low. Domestic job creation that by me provide him sustainable solution. And you be garam what existing low-hanging fruits that can provide him labor mobility type model no malo country blue me. And then one you be like for looking binahaba him successful. One fella you look no malo na you support him Egon company lo arara to see that him provide him more lucrative job for the young people me look lo sol tuna how na by me support him look lo KFPL too how na by me support him they have existing opportunities no ba that if you me support him can provide him more conducive environment that young people you me save go and work using concept of labor mobility, but work on policies and empowering now with existing investment that you may continue for providing now. Employment, look at the young people, you may got emerging economic opportunities, especially law, Ministry of not mines, but fisheries like seaweed. These are areas that may like for looking, you may support him. So we must realize that no any other country for by fight hard for by me creating sustainable employment opportunity for you me they can support us, but for action you me you be na own country or somehow others been say by me stop lohem, by me die and read lohem. So we have a sole duty to ensure we create more jobs for our people by investing in sectors that already got opportunities that by me creating these jobs. As Solomon Island, Hemi approaching its 50th independent anniversary. This government, Hemi also already in the talking, and me believe very soon by come with him policies that continue for supporting inclusive development across all 9 provinces that by me align towards 50th anniversary beloved country Yumi Solomon Island. And any government that by come for bringing Yumi celebrating 50th anniversary by Garem that liberty for him reflect back since first parliament go kasem 12 parliament or 13 him by good too Mr. Speaker that 12 parliament him continue on for deliver too and celebrating to 50th anniversary. It's a perfect number. Aligned with him too. 12 tribe law Israel too, The 12 parliament hemi come and celebrate him 50th anniversary blow country blow Yumi. And by this 12th parliament Garem Ona reflect on first parliament go come because by not only development where 12 parliament hemi bring him about Yumi by reflect lohem. But we will, of course, reflect on the achievement and challenges that you may face him since you may gain him independence and you may go come kasem 12 parliament. That is a matter where every honorable member of this 12 parliament for look lohem. Sir, we all must collectively redirect the way you may lead and serve our country, and let us look forward on how you may deliver that one. So, let me take him this time now. We start to come and talk law, constituency level sir. for thank him na the good respected elders, leaders, and chief churches blomi logiso kolobangara for continuous support, directly and indirectly through prayers and contribution blokada lo constituency. As you all by survey governance law constituency level, you may actually improve CDF Act in terms of governance law, constituency development funds. Yeah. But governance law or communities blow you in the way you may implement development programs. You may know government legislation where really government standard framework for delivered. And in that regard, me like for thanking or constituency development members Blomilo constituency. And law got 8 economic zones Blomi, including their leaders and village development committees, and all constituencies. For patients, blokata and understanding, low priority Bloyumi, low first year coming through this year is to strengthen governance, low informal community settings Bloyumi. We have achieved that, and you start for ensure that you implement in programs through structured frameworks that you may establish. Today, sir, me honored for confirming that Gizo Kolobangara constituency development day hereby celebrated. Next week, 2025, integrated development week whereby me hosted the constituency and me like acknowledge mo kita for pursue that one. Be free and relax ya. O kata lo CDC and o community governance committee wakalahem. You will showcase our collective commitment to inclusive development, community empowerment, and economic transformation during the course of next week. I wish to say that EMI is not only Christmas event, yeah. It is a platform to launch tangible initiatives that will directly benefit our people. Oketaya have activities where you may expect him next week, and ensure through you speaker, you tell him what na he may expected. Number one, throughout next week and going into New Year, there will be opening of constituency offices. Mivalagaran Tufal Island, and we have 2 offices. Extension Blohem na Lohoniara. So 3 offices, but next week, Hembailo constituency na. We will officially open 2 branches, one Logizo and one Lokolobangara. And let me remind this, through you speaker, the good people Blomilo constituencies, that these offices will serve as administrative and information centers where constituents can submit in or proposals blogata according to requirement we have established, place for raising grievances blogata and access support. They will provide particularly empower youth, women, churches, and community groups by providing a direct link to government services and development programs. So by you no need to text him MP blow you all aware, walk through those offices, and time you submit him, of course, through your leaders, you say sound check kam lo MP, sound check na whether offices ya or consider and bring him through na lo CDC na inquiries blow you or not. Next week too, sir, every week blow look lo rural livelihood and what productive sector, especially fishery, forestry, tourism, SME too, yeah. Next week, by you will talk lo him. Also next week too, by Okata host him too, a mini trade and investment expo too, yeah? For ignite him now, but existing private sector blom mifala lo constituency. Mifala host him stakana. Like telecom, KFPL, or tourism operators. We will host a mini trade and investment expo, tourism operators, investors, or transport providers, or construction firms too, service industries by showcasing products and services and looking how now got aligned democracy level, the constituency programs, so that you may align them, you follow everyone the 2026 budget. Finally, sir, next week too, me follow by looking lo empowering na okat youths blow me follow. As part of our commitment to youth empowerment, you will witness the participation of young men and women from all 8 economic zones of Gizo Kolobangara constituency in organizing competitions across 3 main sports law constituency, soccer, netball, and volleyball. These games are not merely recreational activities. They are structured platform for nurturing talents, instill discipline, and promoting professionalism among our youths. So, sports development and powerful tool for building character, teamwork, and resilience. It provides young people with opportunities to showcase their ability, gain confidence, and aspire to higher level of achievement, whether in local links, national representation, or professional careers. Beyond competition, these programs foster unity across villages, community, strengthen social cohesion, and encourage healthy lifestyle. It is for those reasons now, constituency, and me also empowering you for a good youth law constituency to engage in youths. Finally, law constituency level, sir, me like for talk law, learn on economic empowerment. Honorable Speaker, I now turn to an issue of profound importance, law learn on economic empowerment, law constituency blomi. Sir, in that regard, let me congratulate the 5 trustees of the Kolobangara Landowners Trust Foundation, KLTF. And today, we like for congratulating now about the 5 powerful trustees Blumifala. None other but Honorable Gordon Dasi Lilo, MP for Central Honiara, and him a trustee blow one of our 5 tribes, Wiuru tribe. Donald Amos Saipio, hemi trustee blow Kolobangara Epagalolobo, one of the trustees. Dr. Waino Wigulu, blow Galavasa tribe, hemi one of the trustees. Renka Solomon, hem Blongedoana tribe, and one of the trustees, Blodisala Institution, Blomifala, Lo Island. Including myself, sir, one of the trustees, Blo tribe, Blo Leanabako, also member of KLTF. Together, sir, we are representing the 5 traditional tribes of Kolobangara. Unitedly, we have secured 20% equity share in Kolobangara Forest Product Limited through our investment arm, namely Kolobangara Island Investment Limited. As any institution representing resource owners, we are not perfect, sir, but we are living testament of an institution that put people first. that despite challenges, whether between trustees, whether between land-owning group, but we remain firm, united, and achieving now the objective of united people of Kolobangara by achieving now a dream that Hemi carried on for 102 years since colonial days during the Judge Philip 1923, carried by our forebears, our parents. And government have recognizing law 1992, first time for Solomon Island government have recognizing now. And we are so appreciative of our leaders there, including the current MP and trustee, MP for Central Honiara and trustee of Bureau during that time, for representing now island. Not only him, but me also like for acknowledging now our elders like Home Saive, my late uncle Thompson Tureke. They stood behind and supporting now their institution, although there's division in Kolobangara that time, of course, with my tribe, Lanabako. But through Thompson Tureke, we supported him. Me say this one, sir, to put it in record that we have come together to understand that we need to stand unitedly and support him an initiative that not only by benefiting those were what stood representing Mifala and voicing Mifala that time, because many have left us. Not only to benefit the current generation, recent, me, or trustees of this generation, but to benefit the future generation. I say this so that people below me, Logizo, Kolobangara constituency, but importantly, Lo Kolobangara, for understanding this one. Me as trustee of Lanabako, me no living trustee. Me like for putting this in record. I was appointed by my tribe, not by whim of any individual too, Mr. Speaker, sir. I was appointed in 2014 through a legitimate AGM locality of trustee Lo Iburano to represent my tribe, and I was appointed by my tribe. And I am prepared at any right time tribe Lumi say, my term has lapsed, I will respect that and allow new trustee for him current forward. Now, responsibility as trustee. I was also not appointed timely member of parliament. I was appointed before me member of parliament because I was trusted by my highball people. This milestone, sir, was achieved through a structured commercial process under the public-private partnership framework, fulfilling decades of struggle by landowners to gain recognition and fair participation in KFPL, the largest sustainable forestry plantation in Solomon Islands. On 3rd October 2025, the Investment Corporation of Solomon Islands formally transferred 20% of KFPL share to our investment arm. And on 11th November 2025, this government, led by the Honorable Prime Minister, officially handed over the share certificate at Rigi KFPL headquarters. This marked the culmination of a process since Solomon Island government have recognized Yumi 30 years in the making. I am humbled that within 7 years since me involved for fulfilling this dream. And I am ready to hand over the next generation of leaders for continue progression this development. Mr. Speaker, sir, this transaction have me demonstrating Ginat's policy commitment to ensuring landowners directly benefit from the commercial use of the land. It operationalizes the 3-P principle by balancing government oversight, private sector efficiency, and tribal participation. Landowners are no longer passive stakeholders, they are now active shareholders. So, with this milestone comes responsibility. And so, I urge all the trustees for State United as single KLTF institution for trusteeship is a mandate given by people and them sacred duty to present and future generation. Let me now, on behalf of local trustee, call for transparency, professionalism, and accountability na lo business amblo mifalaya. Kolobangara Island Investment Limited Management and Board. And me, like I'm speaker for Okatalis and Good, to develop a clear, bankable, people-centered business plan. So how KFPL dividends will deliver real improvement, better household income, youth employment, support for education, health, investment in village enterprises, and diversification into tourism, fisheries, and agriculture in Kolobangara Island. Let the people of Kolobangara see in concrete, accountable action that resource development translates into shared prosperity, not exploitation or division. Honorable Speaker, the 20% share transfer was not just a business deal. It is a policy driven by justice. It honored the Kolobangara landowners' long struggle, integrated them into 3-P system, and fulfills Jinat's promise of fair development. 120 years in a waiting for our forefathers, and 30 plus years in waiting since independence for people of Blomifala. Me, like those of you in management level of business amblo, you may must take note of my message to you this morning. So let me now come. As you may move towards festive season, as Christmas and New Year festivities and draw near, me too, raise as Minister responsible for police and national security, for Tok on behalf of Ministry Blomi, Commissioners of the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force, and the Correctional Services of Solomon Island, together with ranks and files of both agencies. First, me like to extend the deepest gratitude blomi, local police officers bloyumi, correctional RSIPF and correctional officers, or families blokata for tireless service for protecting their lives, safeguarding properties, and upholding public safety across our nation despite our challenges. And me like to say, sir, we also take note of the gaps that Mifala Law Ministry and our agencies need for addressing going forward into the future. Sir, while many countries struggle during this event with insecurity, Solomon Island will continue to enjoy relative peace and public safety. Even though can look down to Maslo Yumi. Yumi garam that spirit of peace and peaceful coexistence within Yumi Namaya. Let us not think that wakablo police na for providing peace and safety, security blayumi. Let us take ownership of it as citizens, as family, as communities. And police, by continue for supporting and empowering that fabric of peace, stability, and coexistence inside na lot communities blayumi. Our culture, custom, church, family. Let us not let go of that fabric that hold Yumi together and think that wakablo police na for providing that one. The moment Yumi losing that one, we will face so many challenges. And so me, like for reminding you me, Lord, that one, Mr. Speaker, sir. This fabric of our society, I mean, not by chance, but through dedication of our security agency and the resilience of our communities and of the institutions here. Yet, you may not ignore the fact that peace is fragile. Hemi requiring collective responsibility. As me say, I therefore call on all citizens to take ownership of our country, but ensuring that family, communities, villages respecting the rule of law during this festive season. To all law-abiding citizens, visiting relatives, business people, and holiday makers, I humbly appeal, celebrate with love, care, restraint, and the spirit of peace and unity. Let our gathering be marked by reconciliation, family bonding, worship, and community solidarity, not by violence, loss, or sorrow. Honorable Speaker, our police and security agencies will remain heightened vigilance nationwide. Their presence is not for dampen celebration, but to guarantee safety. Their mission is to protect life and property, to ensure that every Solomon Island can celebrate freely and securely, and to uphold the dignity of our nation during this season of joy. Let us remember that Christmas is a time of hope, and New Year a time of renewal. Together, me like me everyone for celebrating our shared humanity as one Solomon Islands. Yumi must show our visitors warmth, respect, and hospitality for which people below Yumi are renowned for. Yumi Happy Isles. In doing so, we reaffirm our national identity as peaceful, united, and law-abiding society. So, sir, me come to closing now. And in conclusion, me, on behalf of family Blomi, good people Blomi, Giza and Kolobangara constituency, extend my heartfelt Christmas and New Year greeting to His Excellency and Madam, the Governor General, and Madam too, the Honorable Speaker, your good self, and Madam Speaker, the Chief Justice and Madam, the Honorable Prime Minister and Madam Prime Minister, all Cabinet Ministers and your good spouses, the Leader of the Opposition, Independent Group and your good spouses and families, all the constitutional office holders, heads of diplomatic missions, and our development partners, and to all Solomon Islanders. In urban centers, outer islands, rural villages, settlements, everywhere inside Lo Country Blayumi and outside of Country Blayumi. May this festive season have renewed faith, unity, national purpose, and leadership integrity as you may step into 2026 with renewed commitment, compassion, and strength for you may work ahead of 2026. Honorable Speaker, with these words, me like for thanking you and me supporting this motion, and me sit down now.
Thank you, Honorable Minister for Police. Let me give the floor on the opposite side to the Enroll MP for West Are and Chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee for his back here.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Minister MIP, for giving West Are the opportunity now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, again for allowing the Member of Parliament for West Are constituency to contribute to the motion of Sine-Die moved by the Honourable Prime Minister. Sir, my brief intervention, sir, is in support of the motion. Let me on the outset, sir, thank you, Honourable Speaker, the clerk, good staff of the National Parliament in allowing the proceedings of the Parliament to take place throughout the course of this year's Parliament meeting and to maintain the integrity of the House as we dwell on very important matters that are important to our nation, Somalians. I also would like to thank the Excellency, the Governor-General, for being so compassionate, particularly through his speeches from the throne on development issues affecting our country. And I'm sure with those speeches, sir, the government has endeavored to ensure mothers raised in the speeches need greater attention, attainment, and respect. Government must not treat the speech from the throne lightly, sir, and lay most of it to collect dust. So, in that regard, let me also thank the Honourable Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers and members of caucus, the executive government, for their commitment for the past 2 years in striving to attain our development goals whilst maintaining provisions for essential services to our people. So, by me just highlighting a number of issues in my Sine-Die motion intervention. Under the Constituency Boundaries Commission, me like for subscribe to earlier speaker, the colleague MP for Small Malaita, Lo Wat Hemi Siavim Kam on this issue. One folly issue where Hemi continuously confronting us is the need to open extra constituencies in addition to the current 15. Leader of the member of Small Malaita Hemi, Tokudhem Imi Save, some of our constituencies are big populated, and they are definitely struggling and face a lot of challenges, and they will wholeheartedly welcome this matter be sorted out soon. Me understanding the Constituency Boundaries Commission, legitimate bodies, lo constitution, and current power for for me. I understand too, sir, that 15 years of no come up with any report or any active work, lotus for matter of interest to us, sir. Last report of law 2009, sir, and hemi takem now that long, and I think high time this for matter hemi address, sir. By him telling no again 12 to Muslim hemi very clear. Sir, 50 members of parliament, we understand our constituencies. It's equal 50 constituencies, but the composition of it and the need, the livelihood, the people, hemi no same, and I think this is a call with merits that Hemi need to be taken seriously and attended to timely. So as Imtola move towards the end of this meeting, and by Imtola also we work towards the natural death of the House and election by Hemi come about in 2028. So me call or boundary commission to meet for to deal with this matter as soon as possible. As I already alluded to, it is very, very important. So time to kosem, Hemi need him fairness no more. Hemi need him justice. Me, but me feeling too that some of the constituencies in Karen, me no feel at ease because I struggle with him constituency West Blomi West Arare because population block at hem tapolom now population block constituency Blomi. In that regards, Hemi part clear nine. And so that is why me and I can recall that I have made calls consistently in the past houses for the review of the constituency funding formula. If we wait in that one progressive, Chinese government Hemi para positive law or kata reforms here. Look at the immediate need now, sir. So and the immediate need now, me highlight him here. So Miko called for that review of the constituency funding formula. What kind of formula name use him where him sharing funding and other resources for people bring the constituencies. Once we are in waiting, it is indeed to me very unfair and brings a lot of injustice to the populated constituencies of our country. This is vividly clear to all of us, the 50 members of the House, Mr. Speaker. So it is all about addressing the right of the people, need blockers and their livelihood. I think that one in Lehem and Chinat, Hemino Karim mistake Lehem. Your policies, particularly on the transformation and key towards looking at our people, the livelihood of our people in our country. So that one means have a look into this will formula in Karen where hem serim equally the 50 constituency. Suppose you take a Muslim piece cake, sir, 50 constituency, 50 pieces, same number, heminim for constituency, okata people block no kakaina. Okata pay no save Karen a taste of that piece of cake. Even smell him number 2. Because okata stand up around him, ma okat man no front, okata par and close him okat man no behind now. What I'm getting at, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the 50 constituency populations, and let us address that rather than him to leave him for struggle, and they continue to be poorer in our beloved country, Mr. Speaker. So I can call on the Chinese government through your transformative policy, urgently empower him now, waiting resources, the Boundary Commission for start for sit down addressing this issue. I wish to add that said to interventions on that matter earlier, Mr. Speaker. Let me make brief observations on the perception on corruption and integrity institutions in our country, sir. Mr. Speaker, on the issues of corruption, Solomon Islands scored in the 2024 Corruption Perception Index, CPI, the score is 43 out of 100, where 0 is the most highly corrupt and 100 is the less corrupt or clean. Solomon Islands has a low score of 43. In comparison, neighboring countries, Melanesia, our neighborhoods, Fiji, scoring 55, Vanuatu hemi scoring 50, where hemi nim tufal country, leves kokudlim tola, lotis fal intexia. So at that point in time, so that record of corruption, I mean, loketa compared to ours, I mean, okata slightly lighter. According to the International Transparency Organizations, corrupt activities are measured, taking into account actions such as bribery, diversion of public funds, officers using public offices for private gains without facing any disciplinary actions, government's ability to combat corruption in the public service, excessive red tape in the public sector, nepotism, one-talk business, appointments in the public service, laws ensuring public servants must disclose their finances and potential conflicts of interest, legal protection for people who report cases of bribery and corruption, business infiltration and kickbacks, favoritism, etc., etc., etc. Since IMTO scoring 53, sir, and okata where me just outlining on top where this fella score blame tola, hemi base lahem, hemi quite serious, yeah. Hemi quite serious. We are a Christian country, and let's reflect heavily on this. And IMTO must straight them make. IMTO must pray lohem lo this fella Christmas season, so make him that wisdom and that spirit for him strengthening IMTO quickly return to where we should be as a country with credibility, integrity, so. Mr. Speaker, according to the recent records for the past 10 years, it is sad reality that the government continues to ignore strategic and legislative measures that were established to curb actual and perceived corruption activities within the public sector. We've been told on many occasions, sir, that we are a country continues to face an uphill battle in building, restoring, and sustaining a transparent and accountable governance system. Government have worked hard, churches work hard, our people work hard, but there is space for him to work harder, Mr. Speaker, in light of the corruption going on in our country. I'm sick here, big sick too much. I'm also cancer. And I think those that we have stayed long in Parliament, I think I can say that, yeah, I'm seriously on increase, Mr. Speaker. We've been hearing a lot of talk on this particular issue of concern, low country blame to Mr. Speaker. Corruption is deep-rooted, now becoming more habitual, acceptable, and slowly treated as culture and norm that gradually eating up the legacy of good governance established by our past leaders. This one came through now. Imtal start for all. You'll be surprised too. Our own norms changing. Something we not accept him. Before, him accept him, also him no more. Suppose you say you hunger and you steal him coconut, you climb him, you know own him. That's stealing. Him unacceptable. You must ask. Him now, Imtola, Melanesia, our culture. So this one him no more now. Man like for coconut, him climb no more. But him no pro him no plant him. And this is serious, even in our own community cell. We need to urgently and re-energize and re-strategize our efforts to fight against this evil. Let us pray more this Christmas for strength, wisdom, and the guiding Holy Spirit to help us back to our tribe. So I understand that a new accounting head was formed for SICAT with an amount of 6 million for 2026. That is in the budget, sir. But according to the recent records, less than 2 million will be allocated for investigation and preventive measures. Furthermore, sir, there is also the issue on auditing. Some government ministries have not been audited for quite some time, whilst those that have been audited since 2017 have failed to address management issues forwarded by the Office of the Auditor General. We also have incidences on unresolved cases on mismanagement, sir, and diversion of public funds, weak and questionable procurement systems, and audited activities such as the Pacific Games, where Imtala Lilisin finished, and ineffectiveness of the general orders, code of conduct, and law enforcement of laws of the land, example, lowland, fisheries, forestry, and others from the extraction industry. Mr. Speaker, Imtal need for Imtal fighting corruption head-on, and law, yes, ahead of Imtal commencing next year. Thank you, Prime Minister, for you come out very strong with the fight. The audited reports, put him go, make him interested, so that the curse and the haunt, things where he done, if him no good, he must not stay over government, he must not stay inside the country. Let's start addressing this. And this is, Mr. Speaker, as I alluded to earlier, a Christian country, inter-proclaiming and inter-claiming. It is a Christian country. And let's all leaders Imtala work on this as Imtala continue for claiming this one. So, briefly on the state government, federalism, and constituent assembly. The call for federalism has been a long-standing issue confronting our provinces, dealing with decentralization, regional autonomy, and a sense of ownership of resources. In recent years, a few provinces have called for statehood and the need to have assigned responsibilities, power in decision-making vested on their own affairs and interests. We understand statehood or certain degree of autonomy may bring issue of local and self-governance, purported improved services delivery, more citizenship, engagement, and participation in community and state affairs, reducing potential for further conflicts aroused from social, economic, and geographical influences and the decision-making powers. However, we can overrule the fact that statehood or call for autonomy can be determined as well as it may be expensive in setting up new structures and administrative systems. Adoption of capacity issues, conflicts on shared resources, economic disparity, and fear of further disintegration in our country. Overall, federalism and statehood stemmed from conflicting mandates that deals with powers, resources, and responsibilities. This one is ongoing, and thank you, Prime Minister. Let's move on and Imtal address him issues so that him clear him mind problem, and so that we can have an environment which is conducive for leadership, so that we can continue to deliver to our people. And me like for comment him, Jeanette, for that focus has been highlighted in the notes to the budget, sir. So let me thank the government for acknowledging the draft federal constitution that was submitted to the former GA government in 2019, and for the unit to set up The consultancy group took a look into the cost-benefit analysis of the draft constitution and subsequently the setting up for the partition task force to look into areas concerned in the recent Constituent Assembly framework with the defeated Constitution Amendment Constituent Assembly Sitting Bill 2024. I urge the G-Net government to continuously work on these emerging issues to help us prepare well for the constitutional amendment and an adoption of the new system if that is what our people truly desires. But what I'm mostly concerned about, sir, is that our people in the communities should have access to basic essential services to benefit from their own resources. Doket to talk about the system where imtola doklo but maybe hem nuclear no sir. As imtol save ma sabos imtola go divide imtola. Okay, state hemi you multiply by 10 resources ocean. So some for imtol just have good that hemi quite expensive and hem could now G-Net Prime Minister call for that assessment hemi done, but hem must timely, quick time. Okay, must deal with him. On the revenue sharing scheme, sir, one silent policy concern that was not covered in recent speeches from the throne and not covered significantly in the G-Net's 100 days policy in 2024, but keep recurring within the policy corridors of the government and within provincial governments is the issue of the revenue sharing. G-Net hemi to wait in this one for implementing NOMA. Dr. Lam, I know that has concluded somehow, somewhere, but for implementing. This scheme, sir, is a policy agenda of the DCGA's government, and the revenue sharing bill is a result of a policy procedure and tabled in 2028, posed by premiers through the recommendations from the Aoki Premiers Summit in 2017. A little bit long time ago, Mr. Speaker. The bill was to produce in 2019, 2020, was shelved and held in abeyance pending further consultation and workshops. The revenue sharing scheme called for an 8% sharing of all government domestic revenues, excluding grants and loans, to be shared vertically to all provinces, followed by the horizontal distribution of to all provinces. The sharing takes on board variables and determinants, such as population, poverty index, geography, and costs of operating business in provinces and financial discipline measures. So, me para supporting revenue sharing, okata province okata on behalf of the government, okata now current is for awesome task of delivering to the people. So suppose him tell level up. If him no have 8, me tell start lo 1. Him tell start lo 2, call 3%, or even 5% much better. Mr. Speaker, but I think it's a way forward in terms of resourcing our provinces, hence by having deliver needed services to their people, our people. So, law Ministry of Provincial Government appearance, law public accounts hearing recently, sir. The bill already received scrutiny, law cabinet, and caucus, and it was advisable that the G-Net, through the ministry, should carry out further consultation and returns on the bill and its broader implications on other areas, such as capacity absorption, taxation laws, regimes, and functional powers, resources distribution, and introduction of laws and regulations. So, meeting imton of writing, okata province blimton, serim ko basketia witimoketa, me lukim hem stakanomaya, budget blimton at this time, imtola luluklo more than 5 billion. This is the provinces, and this sharing scheme, Mr. Speaker, me encourage him, Jeanette, through you, Prime Minister, look urgently lohem for the provinces. Me like for again thank him, Jeanette, for the continuous delivery of PCTF project. Law at the provinces and Hemkam Kasim constituencies. PCTF, sir, continuous funding hemi law at the projects of some clinic, classrooms, jetties, housing project, okay, but problem now accountability, sir. And hemi borrows loan now at the provinces, people for what receive him. I call on the ministry. With him, Jeanette government, put him ko accountability, address him, make him level change him more. So the delivery to all provinces annually must happen through this good program, PCTF. Make him infrastructures, project here for livelihood of our people and also our children. Hemi continue to be addressed as so meeting government step in and look when I'm going for the 9 provinces, putting more accountability, maybe through the ministry, and implementing. Let's change from what we've been doing, Mr. Speaker, so that Imtola actually result with the outcomes, certainly the intended outcomes. So brief comments no more, and through my observation on education, infrastructure development, Tona, and exams bring Tola where Hemi Lili always no maya. So, in terms of the education sector, sir, the recent past 2026 budget for the ministry, Hemi stand at 30%, or 2.89 billion for the national total expenditure, but with only 5%, 84 million for the development, departing from the 80 to 20% basic rule 7. This one, Hemi Minim said that overhead costs in terms of the recurrent will only be spent on wages and new salary structure, outstanding entitlement, ECE, with him TVET, teachers payback, but very little on the capital investment and development. And this one, Minister Hembar Kililhem, time awesome now. First things first, and Minister may upload him for that one, yeah. Do him good for people, and interest him, make him no outstanding because it deals with people, and that is their life as okata teachers bring to lot to follow sector, yeah, where back pay loketa. And so yes, Hemi affect him now capital investment where Imtol administration, but as I said, Hemi law minister with him officers for him. So although there is support from donors of 41.88 million and small increase for development budget from 2025 to 2026 of about 17 million. This increase will still insignificant in consideration of the real development need of the ministry. That includes education infrastructure, teacher housing, transport, information, digital communication technology, reliable water, sanitation, teachers' material, tools for learning, and so on. Honorable Minister is very good at this things. But you look close to school all now. And me like for commenting government for the school infrastructure budget where Imta looking continue with him, make him over the schools here, build him back. We can't rely on those stakeholders that look after the schools here. Education and Bloomtola. It is a responsibility of the government Bloomtola for our people, citizens. They are entitled to that, and Bloomtola must give them and so the schools here, they need government for him help them look at the infrastructure so that it has again the environment through projects for infrastructure, look at the students, look at the schools here. The sector also face recurrent challenges on the management of scholarships, awards to be fair and transparent, lack of clarity on the way forward or direction of second chance education. That is, minutes must be provided, explicit guidelines on the frameworks and policy directions on this issue, update textbooks, materials, and the availability for learning. The issue of allocations of exams leakages that undermines the integrity of the management of exams and credibility of assessments. This is an ongoing issue that has occurred since the past years, and government has shown some commitment in it, but I think it's not enough. Let's face it out. Imtola, aputim, something in Mahawe. Yeah, Imtola sabe someone way, but every year Imtola work hard. Minister, I know that you put him in okata messes to really tackle this one, but somewhere him leak it. Yeah, him or some water Imtola try for put him on top, then Imtola try for block him for him not to come down, but by looking him come down no more. That is the case. Unfortunately, with him the exams, Bloimtola said, and him bar of no good. Hemi brain him no more about the negative perception Bloimtola said. It's not what Bloimtola like him, but it is just happening. And so I encourage you, Minister, through your Prime Minister, let's continue for tackle this one. So, Minister of Police and Correctional Services, hemi talk finish, hem just talk finish no more tintin free education minister, hemi talk finish hem outline him as a standpoint in terms of policy, Junet, free education, local hem, but because of the pressure on the budget, free education, hemi something for progressing. Me encourage Minister, let's look seriously into it and Imtal make him buy big investment for Imtal Minister. Imtal invest in education lo you, hemi people blame Imtal somehow by Imtal sa balancing of local budget. So even no matter Imtal borrow for him, why not I think any important investment, but time of the families will continue for struggle and the economy is not picking up in terms of the cash flow. So I think one big policy implementation for Junet is Imtala Luluklo soon, Imtala give him free education. Of course, it's not going to be 100% free. There will be contribution by parents, guardians, but I think there is a serious need for him to seriously look at impact where school fees hemikarem lo imtola this for the time. So again, me lo budget lo development hemi stand lo 26.5 million lo recurrent. This is Ministry of Lands, Housing and Services, 26.5 million recurrent and 16 million for development budget of Ministry of Lands. There were sentiments raised that the government wants the ministry to collect 17 million in 2026. Yeah, let me good. Minister and PS put him high on him, pitch him high. Goal make him work hard for him. But me luluklo ministry, hemi need him urgent support. Make hemi carry more the resources for hemi for performing now this for revenue collection funds in Blahem effectively. Hemi big ask on the ministry, they can do it, but they need, of course, the resources for supporting it. So, in the public accounts hearing, ministry has expressed aggressive strategies for addressing now outstanding land rentals and explore other valuations and revenue initiatives such as UCV or an improved capital value where rates and other land rents can be sourced through vacant parcels within our town boundary. It is also envisaged that with the expiry of the 3,000 to 4,000 FTEs within the next 2 to 3 years, the ministry will intensify its revenue collection work to support ongoing public service program. Mr. Speaker, I urge the ministry to continue with its policy programs on conversion of TOL to FTEs, addressing housing crisis and physical planning program within town boundaries. Work on the customary plan reform programs include recording and facilitation and facilitate process of registration and deals with land issues concerning relocation or resettlements due to climate change and or sea level rise. So, land me community minister and ministry, PS for Minister of Land. This one no big problem now, big headache. And you look more at the people blame here. This time, if you go out, inside, at boundary, outside there, people to us land on a no. So, that is okata fighting life no mana mino save okata no worry you talk okata or you come browsing okata no as long as they have piece iron roofing for putting head okata underneath, that's all it matters okata me looking and me observing or sensor, and so ministry for really work hard lahemma sir. On that note, sir, me like for commenting and thanking okata tawia bring tala lo Gora Canal, particularly lo Honiara area, for the heart they have. The heart they have. What am happened lo here, sir? If him happened lo at places lo imtola or lo imtola mi fala lo malita no mo ya, land hem mother ya, hem mami blue you know. And Okataloya and Mami Blogger, but they have a very, very unique heart where Okata continue for accommodating mental and continue in that regard supporting government. Because suppose Okata may make a mental sweet loga something, served by Imtala Nowaka Kutian. Same on that, me join him, called chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Ko start on top lo Henderson him ko kasim go tiriwa man one company no more him tekem me like for looking genealogy blo company man put aside all the legal formalities and all this. How did it happen? Yeah, him told chief ya land him told to lo hem genealogy lo hem yeah. And but that aside, because it has legal implications, but the question and the call for investigating Junet, get into it and see why one fella no more hem holemimi osem by him tol haya. Let me, in addition, sir, also call on Junet through the Minister of Land and Housing and the Commissioner. Outside, look at the land, look at people blame Tolaya, where Hemi and the government meeting for revisiting, look at him. Him look at him, okata land on no karem any land now. o katalania imtol government and commission na hem onim luluk lo hem because how hem done I mean 2-3 months where okata maybe okata go through the system and okata sign papers maybe but hem should be drive yeah hem karem okata karem technology waiting ya their land tenure is in place perfectly. But through the development process and aspirations, I think that is where the leakage is. But I call that honor be accorded to okata landowners make them interested them so that we live in harmony to them. Already they have a profound sense of heart that they continue for embracing every development in our livelihoods in the Honiara city. But they look like them go ahead for expand go and that one now question Lomilo himself. Low women's youth developments and temporary social measures. Me like for comment also Noma ministry. Me also receive him lowest budget. Him also me already serve raised in the debate, particularly by the leader of the opposition, and me like for joining leader and others that they have already spoken, him to support him ministry more. Luluk lahem because ministry women, but hem karem youth law there, hem karem boys and girls of course, and also him to daddy, but should be inside law there too, yeah. So it's the ministry of family. And so for Imtala family, Imtala address through okata needs, I think that is something that Imtala need for Imtala Luluklem. And so I joined the chorus to call upon urgent attention, law ministry, make them resources, blow him is sufficient for support him now, okata work blow him. Look at the temporary measures, representation, House and also provincial government. Hemi is something that am in progress. Me encouraging those responsible institutions, stakeholders, for to continue for advancing proactively, so that Imtala Karem or the interest here, Hemi represented. Me just like for touch a little bit low the low side low Ministry of Mines and Energy. Hemi already talked to him as chairman of the Bills and Legislation Committee. Me joined him call just made earlier by the MP for Small Maleta. That Imtala withdrawn or had license lo mining first time. Imtala started them now. No good by Imtala recreate him awesome logging lo at forest Imtala. Let's quickly Imtala suspend him, withdraw, and Imtala quickly put him in now. Work here, make him kickstart. And then since the bill is there in the progress, let's work on that. Make him represent him and reflect him interest for Imtala. More so interest law kata resource owners blame our people say currently what I find normal a lot of gray areas, a lot of loopholes we Imtala must address. So I joined the call for that suspensions of current mining license, sir, and make him quickly pay attention and put him in legal frameworks here, make him support him with policies. This is an important sector for Imtala, as budget him highlight him, but him must be based on that foundation, sir. So, low protective sector, me again commenting the hardworking Minister for agriculture, hemi totok lo budget lo hem finish, budget hemi level go down lo development. We understand the policy rationale behind that, but me join others that they have already commented, agriculture hem numa. Imtala invest lo hem numa de invest big lo hem lo any budget imtal need him, provided we have trust and comfort in our officers in the ministry for okata tilibam go okata budget resources to create that conducive environment right across the country into the villages for okata farmers imtala for okata plan imtala totok lo here ma okata man suswetim lo de ya okata families na okata plant and okata no plan because him policy imtala he plan for survival. Okata plant him cocoa, coconut, a cover, okata for survival, sir. And so, him to partner with him, so that let's give them the resources and create that environment for them. The advisors, agriculture, technical people to be on site. I think I really support Jeanette policy and thinking on that. So we need that people out there. We had a record in history that it was successful in the 70s. So when we have technical people on site, agriculture, and that time to follow no more. Coconut no more, wait him cocoa to follow. This time, 2-3 art on more. And so, if we invest in that, I have no fear of by him to him wrong, him to him no good. So that is the agriculture, but come up with a program where hemi accountable and transparent to the farmers, no ministry. Who know him access him, how not access him go where. Yeah, and so comparative advantage in terms of okata crops here, him should come about so that him again deliver more resources to where him actually bara needed lokata constituencies and okata villages where farmers blame him stuff. So that one law agriculture, me just like for commenting the powerful and hardworking minister for Ministry of Health and Medical Services for the policy and the proactiveness in the implementation. Me para support him, you minister. Let's continue to deliver to our people. Let's have them access. At the moment, imtala totoklohia, pachetia implement him, make him the structure, him stand up, or at clinic stand up, and if imtala follow now the strategy you have in place, looking at the Solomon Islands holistically by him barakutnaya. Me, Patamika Karem Cheles Osem, the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. And member of Parliament for Central Honiara, me say, oh, imtal will wait no by him then around him Kasimimi. Him call for okay, next list, some follow more. Next list, some follow more. That was the call that I wish to reiterate, Mr. Speaker, on that ministry. And so those are key ministries and services to our people. So, Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, me like for also thank him, Jeanette government and the powerful minister for hemi outlining with a lot of force and energy. Time hemi to intervention lahem lo this fella Senate motion of how now by hemi like for leading implementation of the policy. Hemi highlight him new initiative in the seaweed. Seaweed hemi pick up long time now, but very low before. 50 cents no more kilo before. Miss Avelo Ministry, lo fishery that time. Now hemi level go up, and so where okata see lo hem and hemi fit him. Yep, minister no hesitate, go for it, and government support him. So that imtala raising mokata revenues imtala through those means to really help now the deficit budget where imto karim. So definitely CBT is lo fisheries by hemi pickup, hemi by hem current potential for record him also increase in revenue, export revenue to our country, Mr. Speaker, and so your budget allocation hemi most welcome, as well as if there is also increase, it's the whole Solomon Islands that imtal currency, imtal waiting what more. If that is something that by imtal do him good, allow our people to get into it so that imtal tenimara. It's also million dollar activity, Mr. Speaker. Lo development budget lo Ministry of Fisheries, because every farmer imtal, especially or particularly in the seaweed. Development budget must go. I think Chair of the PAC again in his intervention alluded to development budget. 2 million no go. 11 million was budgeted for. That was what he recorded in his report, and he also shared in his intervention. And that is something where Trinidad government for really look at development budget. If it does have implement him 90%, 100%, by him bara every year catch up good, yeah. At the moment, other prices come and hemi cost him for him missing mokata targets. And so the discipline, Mr. Speaker, where Trinidad government and Prime Minister for taking now, where they imtal cut him cost, yeah. In 2026, let's cut costs. Let us cut costs. Make him to save himself for Okatanita, so that maybe in the next 5 years, him to cut costs no more and then implement. Year 6 na him to start for doing more things that him to allow for to do more. So, meeting tin osemia. I think Singapore, if all really tin more a book of law, founding father block at the way hemi, pusum economic block at him to osem no more, where revenue blow Singapore hemco. Meeting whereby hem of benefit to Singapore, hemco. Okatanara meetings, no waste time. Me no current selling for that one. I read in his one of his books as well, and I think that is a good mentality. We need to be humble, humility, and let's also direct our policies in that spirit and in that regard, Mr. Speaker. Lo bina, sir, again, by me no sabe emphasizing more. Other speakers have already highlighted more. Mi fala lo Malaita, bara welcome him. And me as a Malaitan MP, me bara thank him, Chinat, and you Prime Minister for that development budget for Bina. Bina hem in suppose you go back law record lo hem man. Hem long time now, even before Soltuna, yeah? Where what a total lo hem, and hem no even started. And so that seriousness low budget, yeah, him good. That is the budget on paper. My worry now is if him turn not careful by him paper no more, and what now? Me as a Malaitan by me say, hey, enough now. And so ring-fence it. The development budget for Bina, put him somewhere where him tell accessing and work him go. That will be wholeheartedly welcomed by the people of Malaita. We've been waiting, as other speakers have said. Malaita been waiting, and Bina no more in that project plan. And so what him to him government, particularly for Bina get up, let's do it and secure that funding for it. And if if no address him, Mr. Speaker, okay, development budget by end lo year by him to talk more. Awesome, but me are happy with the Trinidad government. Awesome. Let me also say. Thank you, Minister of Finance. First budget blahem, hem no sit down, me like for looking I blahem time me to tokoya. That it's your first budget, Minister of Finance and Lo Chinet, and hem good budget too, the highest, more than 5 million. Imtal implement him. A lot of challenges as Imtal already totok hem sir. but hem lo ifala now. Ifala totok lo hem let's sui. Oka totok ya mi sister lo here mi totok lo oka ti esko tu ya lo ken budget ya 2024 2025 imi totok lo hem. Let's make the token and presentation intervention lo 2026 budget appropriation different. Hem imtola aksinim. That is my call to the Honorable Minister of Finance. But in order for him to achieve, over the years, Mr. Speaker, one for something where me look him there, no, okata things where hemi block and budget for seleno flow lo kata heads bring tolaya, hem lo finance ya, say procurement process ya, tender process ya, say. Okata ministry by we wait no more 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months. We wait him no more. Procurement process here. Cut him off. Look him selling, make him January no more. Okat ministry run and kickstart with their development projects. Yeah, and they must access the budget. But suppose no more, this is going to be business as usual. Because Imtala facing this one. If minister is not going to address all this stumbling block where Hemi become impediments, low budget implementation by Imtal Sorenomaya. And Mito Tokosem, Honorable Prime Minister, we've been in this roundhouse for a couple of years now, and Imtal encouraging Imtola. Let's tackle those issues to allow us for him to successfully look at the implementation. So, we also like for commenting through your Prime Minister, your hardworking, powerful Minister of MID. Thank you for the infrastructure development in the country. You point after your project, connecting all our islands. This is Solomon Islands, a nation of islands. Yeah, you put him on land bridges, you put him on C2. If having possible, connect him bridge called South Malita. Lomitola Honorable Rico, Children Peter Kenron Law, Afio, bridge lo here konom because him now main route Lomifala. So bridge all our islands. Yeah, all islands. No Samfala no more. Yeah, Samfala him in bridge you build him go him break, you go ahead to maintain him, but me was Samfala we wait him bridge from Mifala yet. But the Chinet program and approach focus may comment him Lohem Minister, you doing that one for me. And our Honor City, I support that initiative and perspective of let's look at addressing that, because this is our city. So, lo simanoma me like for passing lo you authority hey since me join him CP man I yeah him good functions for him, but you must budget for kita make him okata revenue lo kata him no pays too much lo mifal operators because mifal bata neke him so now lo environment is not there. As we envisage for our shipping companies, okata cost hem high, and then okata cost of service through authority hem kakam hem high mo. Oi man. For instance, sir, me came ko held lo temotu through Lata and Reef ship hem ko, and okata captain eminim. Charging me $3,000 a day. I'm now consultants. Look at class 3 engineers the same. Then me required for me must put him 2 extra engineer more. Kolo rif no more lolata, but him Solomon no more tas dawa. First time me to talk him. Hey, ma tatuanya him already talk how low. And imply how lo temotu ya. Time me to talk about Solomon Islands ya. Lo rainbow him how ya. Because if you say okata, you must meet him okata. International law requirements now. Luluk him Solomon Island no me. Yeah, and okata mani I apply mo okata international standard consultancy fee come no okata companies. By no any company and kikim good services go because of something. So me no hesitant sir for call on you minister for help him stimma waiting functions for him so that hemi also in fairness and reasonability help him okata companies serve. Lo in terms of the shipping, me level talk lo him because hemi of interest to me. Government him come up with a good policy through SOE for starting ship. Government only shipping fleet before, yeah. Time we come into ICSI, it was liquidated. Liquidation him take him. Shipping fleet him go because of issues at the time in terms of cost, the management also. Now, him tell for take him back. That's why policy him turn around for private sector take him up. So private sector go in, and then through the constituency, through government now you help them shipping companies, lo constituencies. Yeah? My shipping company, government now him starting. Funding come from government. So time you come also you compete more with him company where you set him through the constituency. I wish to call on the merit in that regard in terms of the policy. Meeting Aima, you set him for at constituency companies, Solomon Island indigenous companies, making policy, making okata part of you, sign agreements, memorandum of understanding to serve you as a government in terms of your need, so that okata now save him. If you need him for help him for losip more, help him for look at capital goods. That is something where government has to do it. And why not look at the shipping companies as well, especially those that they belong to our Solomon Islanders. So may I also resist it, concern law competition law shipping. At the moment, heminim okata foreigner and okata local man blame me fall inside that competition no maya ko compete. Me must tell him here that me fella struggle with him auki now, auki board. MB Taimareo, him no sabe call it. Lo Christmas no ma, me follow go. But first time because now auki as a minister lo aviation you leave it highlight him lo question earlier lo kata days past yeah. Competition o kata speedboat yeah too much now. So if you know provide him a service lo 2 hours from Honiara to Auki, forget it. If Auki to Honiara hemino 2 hours, less than 2 hours, forget it. That is the trend now. And so it's going to close companies. My company blomi kosa close. We're now by Mikotekem passes for revenue. So then the foreign companies they have that pike up, rim go now, fair go down. Hey, you meet to all follow Mogata, we don't have the bike up, man, you wreck straight now. And so policy in that space, sir, I would like to call upon the unit government to seriously consider and make them. Solomon Airlines, as Minister of Aviation highlighted on the question raised to him, it's a serious business. Solomon Airlines is an SOE that has been supported through CSO all the way Nomaya. And so, suppose Hemi start for struggle with him over the other competitions here, smart policy has to come in so that everyone, they operate in harmony and Okata still make money. And any policy will make him no straight lokata by him kilim narawanaya. And definitely, we are in a situation where our local indigenous companies, they will certainly close. As long as the speedboat there, hemikolo katanara provinces blimtola by Osemnaya said. So Honorable Minister, luluk lo kata policy issue ya, make hemi sabe help him me fala everyone where me fala operate lo dia. But let me thank him, government, for your budget 2026. Let's implement that one now. Me like for urging me for encouraging me for. My prayers will certainly be behind you, all ministers, so that you implement well for Imtolam. So before me take seat from me, I would like to also take this opportunity to kindly ask colleague members of this House to provide whatever support that is required for the efficiency delivery of the basic services to our rural populace. We need support from one another, particularly from the institutions at the community level, through the provincial government level, to all agencies of the national government. After all, we are serving the same people, and the onus is on us leaders to serve with the spirit of cooperation, collaboration, and togetherness. With our efforts and assurance, sir, we can be able to bring at least some hope in the hearts of our people during these challenging times. On behalf of my good people of West Harare constituency, sir, me like for bringing Christmas greetings to you, Honorable Prime Minister, and family below you, to your ministers and their family, same to you, Honorable Speaker, with your family below you, to your to the clerk and okata staff below you, Parliament and families below His Excellency, the Governor General, with him family below him. Public officers playing tola with him that's PSs and fire and rank officers, low public service and families block at the two that Christmas greetings. Extend him call at colleagues low chamber low parliament with him at good families play for the two at Christmas greetings. Low provincial premier, provincial members, chiefs, church leaders, community leaders, public servants, public sector employees, and allowing people from the provinces and throughout the countries. Greetings also to our diplomatic corps, development partners, CSO, NGOs, and private sector organizations, joint business partners, and private companies. May God's guidance and blessings be upon us as we all move closer to the festive season. This is a season of gifts, sharing of love, friendship, and celebrations through prayer, dedication, and commitment for the new year 2026. I wish all God's blessings and shower upon if everyone as if continue prepare for the coming new year. May we continue for upholding our friendship into new year 2026. To my people West Harare constituency, thank you for your prayers throughout 2025. It's now Christmas. I and my family also wish you Christmas greetings. May you have a Merry Christmas, your families, and prosperous Happy New Year 2026. For our young people, men and women, and our leaders, lo tournament, lo West Harare, lo Kiu, me wish me fala a very successful, peaceful tournament. May team where Hemi best Hemi win. God hem bless me fella and Merry Christmas, New Year for everyone. Thank you, Speaker. I support the motion.
Thank you, Honourable Member Fuer. With that, I will now suspend the proceedings of Parliament and will resume in 1 hour's time. It's 1:30 p.m. Thank you.